Have you ever heard of the accursed Shadow Knights, an order spoken of in dread whispers across the land, their black banners heralding calamity? As the legend goes, they were founded ages ago by one Sir Mordred the Betrayer, an emerald knight of peerless skill in arms, who grew jealous of his liege lord's power and esteem. Becoming obsessed with obtaining dark magics to fuel personal glory, Mordred ransacked forbidden ruins, daring even to steal an amulet consecrated in the Eternal King's royal crypts. But stealing such hallowed artifacts invited a dire curse. By the next full moon, Mordred found himself transformed. Skin blanched and hardened like polished ivory bone, eyes pools of malevolent crimson. The shadows themselves clung to him like a shroud, moving at his command. He had become an unliving knight of darkness. Horrified, most knights shunned him, but a few ambitious acolytes, seduced by promises of power, swore themselves to Mordred's service. They willingly embraced the curse, forming the nucleus of his fearsome order, the Shadow Knights. Now, for centuries they have endured, flourishing in hidden strongholds across the land, emerging only to raid, terrorize and expand their dark dominion a little further. Where the Shadow Knights ride beneath their ebon banners, dread and sorrow are sure to follow. It is said Mordred himself still leads them, his form twisted ever further from humanity, consumed by bitterness and rage. But perhaps that is a fanciful rumor. Surely no mortal frame, however corrupted, could persist so long untouched by death's grace. Yet if rumor is proven true, may God help any who draw Mordred's gaze. While accounts persist in rural legends that the betrayer Mordred himself still commands his eerie order, there is one name often uttered in fearful connection on nights when the moon hides her face. Lord Malidor, a ruthless warlord and feared sorcerer in cursed plate armor that joined the Order after brutally pacifying the Eastern Marches generations ago. Tales suggest Malidor felled the legendary Wyvern of Mount Kazram single-handedly in ritual combat, binding its cursed soul into his own weapons and armor to channel its savagery. His prowess and bloodlust swiftly made him Mordred's fiercest lieutenant, or so it's said. A fortress known as the Ebon Keep now grimly overlooks that mountain's shadowed slopes. Few travelers brave the forlorn trails this close to the Shadow Knight's domain, so reliable witnesses to Malidor's deeds are scarce. Some bards hint at a rivalry simmering behind the scenes. Tension between the timeless Mordred's detached mysticism and Malidor's more earthly ambitions for conquest. Perhaps one day it shall erupt, leaving the Shadow Knights leaderless or fractured into opposing sects equally threatening. That is something I wish never happens, for if it does, it would mean disaster for the realm of Titania. Lord Malidor has his own loyal soldiers in the Shadow Knights, and they would be more than willing to put cities and villages to the flame. But Mordred, however, has kept Lord Malidor at bay through many means, some of which have been through experimentations with his dark magics. Some travelers have said that Mount Kazram is patrolled by grotesque creatures created by those experiments. As for me, I do not know. I plan to never go near the place. Some fools seek to join the sinister order of the Shadow Knights, but to join them is to embrace a dread transformation few mortals can withstand intact. Initiates undergo agonizing rituals, drinking cursed blood and forging pacts with entities better left unnamed. If they survive this ordeal, the flesh-warping effects manifest quickly. Skin and hair turn ivory white and brittle, eyes glow ember red, while their shadows seem to twist free and dance with preternatural sentience. Thus marked, Shadow Knights gain twisted abilities to manipulate darkness itself through bindings unlocked by their vile rites. Edges, projectiles and restraints composed of umbral force manifest and vanish at their hands like gossamer nightmares. Rumors speak of dungeons beneath their strongholds where they torment captives, leeching away light and happy memories to feed their magic's hunger. Despair itself becomes sustenance for arts. Our makers surely never intended mortal hands to wield wield. Melina, a young mage from a respected family in the capital city of Avalon. A natural, she excelled in the magical arts and seemed destined for greatness. But Melina's brother fell seriously ill with an incurable wasting sickness. Desperate, she delved into forbidden necromancy, seeking to defy death and save him. Her futile efforts and increasingly unhinged rituals couldn't save her brother, his passing shattering her sanity, leading her to perceive death as a blight upon existence. Mad with grief and resentment, Melina abandoned the path of light, joining the Shadow Knights for secrets of immortality and vengeance. Melina's arcane gifts and implacable wrath saw her rise swiftly through the Shadow Knights' ranks. Soon, she became Lord Malidor's right hand. Now she directs the Order's darkest rituals and oversees their most horrific experiments, ever questing to unravel death's dominion. The Emerald Knights have taken up arms to keep the Shadow Knights at bay over the millennia. One Emerald Knight of renown, Sir Beren the Bold, led many successful cavalry raids, harrying the Shadow Knights' supply lines. But eventually he was lured into a trap, ambushed near the cursed ruins of Dol Grimar, from which no mortal returns. Some knights emerged heartbroken from that foul place, minds and memories shattered beyond recall. But of noble Beren, no trace has ever emerged. A black day for Titania. Now the Emerald Order fights ever more desperately as the shadows encroach. As for direct attacks, the Shadow Knights thus far seem content building strength in secrecy and subterfuge. But their raids have grown bolder, striking closer to cities of light. None can say when banners raised in blackest night may appear above Avalon's white towers. A day we all dread.